Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Mob Psycho 100. We're on episode 10 of season 1, and in the last episode we had the team up of Mob and Teru. They're infiltrating the the claw, I'm guessing just 7th Division facility, where they're brainwashing kids, psychic kids, so that they essentially join their organisation. And yeah, so we also have Ritsu and that crew also trying to break out. So I'm sure their paths will cross at some point. And also Mob's not playing around now because he made little work of that one guy that in the episode before actually met his match for a second. So yeah, Mob's not playing around. It's going to be interesting to see if all of the other upper echelon members actually decide to come out and play. We know that one of them has an illusion quirk. Well, not my hero here. An illusion power. So yeah, we'll see if that's the case. And yeah, I think that's it. So we're just gonna get in episode 10 real quick and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. What? I don't know how to take this. I don't know how to take this. Reigen is the boss. What? Why does he bother doing the thingy then? Why does he bother with that with the business he's got? Unless he's using them, maybe. He could be using Claw for his own gain, kind of thing. Like giving them this promise of like there's going to be a revolution, but in reality there's not. But then how can he be fine with all this stuff going on though? Because he clearly tells Mob like to not use his power against humans. So how can he be fine with like other people? So how can he be fine with like what goes on in Claw's stuff? Fuck. But what? So he's got aura then? Although I mean, well, the kids managed to pick up on it, even though they don't have that they don't have that much power. So it could just be his presence and not really his aura. But then how the hell do you become boss of that organization if you don't have any power? I mean, I've been saying for a while I mean, not for that long, but I have said like in previous episodes that maybe he does have power and he just doesn't realize it. And there was also that thing in the shop a couple episodes back where he set off his own power, right, to like scare people, but he played it off like Mob was the one that did it. Fuck. Come on, Zach. What is it? What is it? There has to be something. There's something. Why? What's his motive? What's his motive? Well, that one guy at the very beginning said that he's been in this organization for 20 years. So it's been something that's been around for 20 years. How old's Reigen? He can't be that old, right? I don't think he is. So he's got to be like maybe he's in his 20s. So he wasn't the original creator, Reigen, right? So if he's overthrown somebody, then maybe he's just acting the part, trying to I don't know. What's his motive? Because there's no use him telling Mob all of these... all of these, like, inspiring things, like, you know, being an older brother, telling him not to use his power against, you know, other humans and or other people and all of this stuff, and, like... I mean, maybe he's the biggest con artist of them all. Maybe he's... I mean, because technically, what he is doing... Even though he has been that kind of character that's like... I knew something was off. You know, like a couple episodes ago, or a few episodes where I was saying, like... Reigen's so interesting of a character because I can't place him. Like, he's a con artist, yet he's like... the moral compass of the show, you know what I mean? Even though he's a con artist, and it's like, wow, how do you... weigh him up? Is it like a good guy or not, you know? And that I think this is why I've thought he's weird, because this is what's been going on. I mean, if he is the ultimate con artist, right? The guy who essentially he is using Mob for his own gain, right? For help in this business that he has going on. So is it that much? You know, I mean, is it that far to say, like, you know, that he's using everyone else's, like, if he's using everyone else for their like for his own gain as well, all of the claw members, you know? He said boss. Is boss of the whole thing? The whole thing? It must be, right? Because we've got the division leaders. Oh, we've got the 7th division leader, so I'm struggling. I don't know. Yeah, right, he has to have power, right? He has to. There's no way he's the leader without that being the case. The only way I would accept that as a thing is if that's passed down in the family, like, or like, you know, the original Claw boss before Reigen took over was like his dad or something, and it's like passed down in the family. But Reigen for some reason didn't get power. But I'm gonna assume that he has it. I think he does have it. Oh, but there's just things that man. I'm trying so hard to figure out why he's done it before I watch the episodes next week. But I think I'm going to just have to wait until I get answers from the episodes themselves, because I'm struggling to find what would be like, how I don't know why oh man, because there's just things that like don't make sense. I guess yeah, I guess the exorcism business thing that he's got going on could just be like, you know, to keep a public appearance kind of thing, so I guess there's that. But then it just makes no... fucking hell, man. The reason why I'm not sure is because it depends on which way they go with them. If they end up like making Reigen the evil guy, like the villain who was playing us the entire time, then okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. It's the idea that, like, if he's not and he's both, if he's like the Claw leader, right, but he still wants the best for Mob, and that's why he teaches them all of these like moral beliefs and ideals and whatnot, right? But he's also like the leader of Claw, and he's doing that whole thing. Then that's where I'm like, well, like, why though? Like, why? What is the reason? I don't think I'm gonna get it. I can't think as to why it would be. The thing is, with it being a comedic show, it could easily just be the case of like Reigen just being like, yeah, just kind of fell into it, you know. I couldn't do anything else, so I just had to go along with it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just wait. We'll just wait till next episode. If I get it before next week, which I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't know what I could possibly break it down to. I mean, I'm literally going through everything in my head from like the past episodes, and there's nothing like that really stands out. Yeah. The only thing I've got a real hold on is that idea that he's, you know, he's using everyone to his own advantage, but then that puts him in the evil category. And I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do with Reigen. I feel like, for some reason, I have this feeling they're going to do this idea that he is Claw's leader and whatnot and boss and whatever, but he's still like a good person with his morality and beliefs and what he projects that on the mob and stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, that guy said he was like that one guy at the start said he was in that organization for 20 years. So there had to have been like other leaders before him, right? They said that the people that like they're trying to awaken. So if like those if people that don't basically awaken, then that's it. They just become lackeys and just fucking, you know, basically grunts. Mind you, a lot of the ones that do awaken end up being grunts as well. So it's, you know what I mean, like just the same as the grunts, but like just a little extra power. I've noticed they've sort of been showing us multiplying powers more over the last couple of episodes with the you know, Mob and Teru doing it once to push that guy at a wall, and then a bunch of the awakened people all did it at the same time. So yeah, that's interesting. I wonder like how, because I feel like you could be really creative with that, depending on which powers you come up against and whatnot. But yeah. So there was a thing about experiencing pain to awaken people's powers. Again, this comes with like the idea that what I was saying about last episode, about how like does everyone have the potential to be psychic, or is it just certain people? Because it's interesting experiencing pain to awaken them, and they didn't specify what kind of pain. Like, it was kind of alluded to that they get tortured, and maybe that's the only way they actually do it in those awakening labs, but I think there's more to that than just that, because when it came to Ritsu, it was more sort of like mental pain, right? Like sort of him struggling with the stuff that he was doing. So, you know, I think it's more than just being, you know, tortured and experiencing pain on a physical level, but also a mental level as well. And I think that's it's sort of a running theme throughout the show, is that sort of, you know, that torment, if it ends up being, you know, if it's physical, and then on the mental side, obviously with, you know, Ritsu awaken his powers that way, and also Mob with his being entirely mental based, because it's all around his mentality and keeping his emotions and, you know, locked away. So yeah, Teru against the fire dude, that was fucking I couldn't have asked for a more convenient time in there. And the guy with the one fucking pyrokinetic guy who literally lit a flame on one finger again. It's like, that's the second time. It's like, is there ever going to be a guy who can actually do it to an extensive degree, and then he shows up immediately? Perfect fucking timing. And Teru fucking just like outdid him. I I was struggling to figure out what happened when he actually fired back, because I thought he was like, is he absorbing his power? What's he doing there? Because then that would go in line with what I was talking about last episode about Teru being able to sort of learn different things quickly. You know, he was able to learn the whips that the one guy was doing. So I thought that maybe he has sort of like a, you know, able to absorb and copy a power, or, you know, sort of imitate it. But I think what Teru said is that he... So the shield that he placed around himself, like the dome, he did the same to that guy. And while that guy was like basically projecting flame everywhere, it couldn't get outside of that shield. So basically everything inside was flammable. And of course I had the questions like, well, alright, so they're not immune to fire then, but they have a higher tolerance towards it. But couldn't he have just stopped it? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm thinking like the fire needs oxygen, right? And I don't know how that oxygen would work with that shield if it was able to pass through it. Because I feel like, you know, immediately the flame would go out. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't really explain it. I don't think they will either. But I think that's what Teru did. He placed the guy in one of those shield dome things, and yeah, the flame couldn't get out of it, and it basically trapped inside of it. So yeah. Yeah, we're gonna look at a bunch of the fucking. I said at the beginning of this, or like at the end of last episode, that I wasn't sure how far, like how many, if we were even going to go through the whole 7th division in this season, and I think we are, because we're already down to 4 of them. There's only 4 left. We got through a lot in this episode. The fucking puppet master, that mob he was just going through them like fucking like nobody's business. The woman who sort of transfers power into her hands and feet and whatever to make them more powerful. She reminds me of Rock Lee for some reason. It's been a while since I watched Naruto, but isn't there a thing of like Rock Lee's fuck, what's it called? Shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. Taijutsu, innit? I think. Is it Taijutsu? The I think it is, yeah. Hasn't that got something to do with putting power into your I think it's like putting all your chakra into the into like the correct places to like do more damage and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. But either way, she reminds us of Rock Lee. We had the guy who was able to make evil spirits as his pets. He has I'd say I don't know what power that is. I guess he just has the power to convince things. I don't know. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, what kind of power is that? I don't know, because I don't think it's like, is it? Well, it could be mind control, I guess, because he is literally ordering them, but I don't know. It wasn't really, it wasn't properly explained. But fucking hell, Dimple almost outsmarted him. I was so proud for him for a second. I was like, fuck, he's just totally outdone the guy. But yeah, the guy had more. He had a lot. So yeah, shame. So yeah, everyone's caught. Sure. Whoever the fuck that guy is beat Ritsu. So he's not Scar, but he's like I don't know where he would rank in terms of, because he seemed purely like sort of on his own to the rest of them. The awakened guys, like all the grunts, they all group together. All the Scars grouped together. We had the division leader, so he's not him. So he just seems like someone who's like on his own. He doesn't really fit into that group. So I'm wondering if it's like a case of he is beyond that. If we have like division leaders, right? If you have like Reigen as the boss at the top, division leaders would sure fit in somewhere here. You see, I don't know his power because I haven't seen him fight. I just seen him like come out of like the wall or you know, invisibility. He came out of that at one point, so I don't know his potential. I mean, he beat Ritsu, but is that like, that's not exactly a gauge on how powerful somebody is it? I mean, Ritsu can't control his power properly, so I mean, he could be barely. He might not even be. I mean, he was very sure of himself, but then again, they all seem to be. So, you know, for all we know, he could be not as powerful as any of the Scars. He could be, you know, the Scars could be more powerful than that guy. I'm gonna say no because, like I said, when you group a bunch of people together, even all of the Scars like as one thingy, even though they're kind of like, you know, they're called upper echelon and they're kind of like commanders in their own right, you know, like captains and shit if you want to give them a rank, they're still grouped together, you know what I mean? So you can kind of focus, like you can kind of have them all as one, and consider a mob was just taking them out like nobody's business, and Teru and whatnot, like you can kind of gauge their sort of power. Whereas Sho not being seen a lot, I think it's done on purpose, so therefore I think Sho is actually more powerful than all of them that are there, possibly even the division leader as well, but I don't know, maybe on par with that. But I don't know what kind of power he actually has. I mean, I thought it was interesting that he came out alongside the is it Muto, the illusion guy, that maybe there was something to do with him, like because I was thinking like for a second, it's like, oh, maybe Sho is the real person behind the illusion, you know, and he was like, he made Muto as like a sort of like a figurehead for himself, like, oh, that's my public appearance, and Sho like kind of, you know, but then again, but then that makes no sense to me either, because clearly the other Scars and whatnot know who Sho is, so they're not that, obviously they would like to give him a scar if he was part of that, right? Which they're not, and Muto does have a scar, so yeah, I don't see how that would be the case. And it just, and also it wouldn't make sense like why Sho would show himself publicly anyway to like Ritsu and whatnot. Like, why wouldn't he just do it from Muto from the beginning? So yeah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Sho's the real person behind Muto. I think that's a whole different thing. But yeah. I loved the fucking it was interesting when Mob went to 100% this one, because it sort of, did it go back a bit? Because it was in the 90s and it was at the high 90s, I'm sure. It was like, I'm sure it was going like, it went like something like 96, 97, 98, 97, 96, 97, 98, and then like it went to 100. You might have to correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I thought it went backwards a couple times. And I doubt like illusion power, like it being like a different sort of thing. I mean, we didn't even get a look at what emotion he got out of him at that point. And I wonder if it's a thing of like being dead inside. You know what I mean? Like, you know, obviously if he's just witnessed Ritsu's death, even though it's not real, it is real to him because he's seen an illusion. If there wasn't a clear-cut emotion, that it just basically just knocked him out. Like, there wasn't an emotion to attach it to, so it just become dead inside kind of thing. And everything got reversed back up into the guy with the illusion, which is cool. I like that. But yeah, like I said, nothing happened afterwards, and I'm guessing that's just to do with the fact that there was no primary emotion associated with what was happening there, so it kind of just cut, like it kind of short-circuited and it just knocked him out, I'm guessing. So yeah, and the thing is Teruki's like sitting there thinking, no way, like how could they have captured Mob? That means there's someone more powerful. Like, well, I don't think that's not the case. It's just that, you know, he was caught off guard. That's all it was. You know, the illusion power thing kind of puts a different twist on things. You know what I mean? So yeah. And yeah, Dimple is trapped within a jar to fight all of the other fucking things. I feel like it's a free-for-all. I mean, they're all looking at Dimple, bless him. He's a little fucking, just a little flame, and just all these massive fucking, ugh, damn. It's all looking good for the guy. But yeah, that was episode 10. Good episode again. So we'll pick up the, because I do believe it's only episode 11 and 12 left, right? Let's have a look. Episode 12. Yeah, that's it. And there's an OVA. So yeah, we'll pick up 11 and 12 next week. And then after that, I believe season 2 will be coming out. So yeah, season 2 will be something that I'll be doing week to week publicly. So hopefully we'll finish up Mob Psycho 100 season 1. We'll get that uploaded for like the general public and whatnot, just in time for season 2. And then week by week, I'll be releasing season 2 for everyone. All right. So yeah, I'll probably be doing the OVA as well if people want me to. We'll see what the verdict is on that. But yeah, that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've links to certain things. One is the Discord. I urge everyone to come over, join me in the community over there for our chats and whatnot. I have my website, so SirMonkeySuit.com. Link is also in the description there. That's a place where all of my content is stored right on there. You can also, join, become a member, and go on the forums. There's a reaction recommendation page where you can obviously recommend your shows. The top liked shows, the top 10, will actually go into a poll for whenever the next poll comes up. And then whatever wins in that poll will be the show that I react to next. So make sure you go over there, become a member, and get your show on that page. And yeah, Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards that you can support me with, depending on how much you want. Depending on how much you want to support me with. $5 a month. That's the early access. So for that, you gain access to a show, to all the shows I do a week early. And for Fate and Psychopaths, you actually get 4 episodes a week as opposed to the usual 2 that the general public get. So if you're climbing for more reactions from me more frequently, that's what you want. $10 a month, that's a full length, so everything I react to gets a full length. You get access to the full length library. Exclusive tier, that is what this show was done on. That's $15 a month. So as of right now, if this is out on for the general public for YouTube, there'll be another show that is exclusive now, so make sure you go over and check out and see what that is. Also, all OVA reactions, all movie reactions go in the exclusive tier as well. Elite tier, $50 a month. That gives you a choice of a show you want me to react to. It will go at the back of the list behind about 7 shows, so it might take me a while to get round to it. But if you want to jump the queue and go at the very front of the list so that your show gets reacted to next, and you want to get God tier, which is $100 a month. It could just be $100. It doesn't have to be a month. Just pay once to get your choice. That is all. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.